A new sketchbook tour is here. Well, this is me very spontaneously filming now, I guess. Hello, my name is Hidekuni or Hida, and welcome back to my channel. I'm a creative being and a mess of an artist, and I take you along onto my art journey. In this video, we have another sketchbook tour, and this is sketchbook 16 if I didn't mess up with the numbers. If you didn't see any of my other sketchbook tours yet, you can go check them out. I have a playlist with all my sketchbook tours. This one is the next in line, and this one is quite different from the other ones. First of all, I will list you all the things, like the information about this sketchbook, what brand it is, how many pages it has. It's much thinner due to the amount of pages. And the other difference is this is sketching paper. It's not fancy multi-mixed media paper that I usually use. It's very basic paper, and I wanted to switch it up a bit, change it around, see what I like, see how it changes my way of filling a sketchbook, of the mediums I use, and what I would end up drawing. And to be honest, I'm very happy I did that. I'm very happy with what I put into the sketchbook, and it also helped me to figure out what kind of things I like about my sketchbook. In regards of the stickers, I will let you know which artist drew what sticker or where they're from. There are also some I don't know where I've got them from, so I have no idea. And this is now the front. And this is the back. I also made a little short, I think, about how I would decorate it, but yeah, it's nothing special. This is a silly little thing. I hope this is aligned, and I hope that you can see everything, and let's get into my sketchbook. This is now the first page. This is my pony, like this is Hidekuni as pony. Just doodling down some pony anatomy as well, because at the time I was watching My Little Pony Generation 5, because I saw it while babysitting my cousins, and I was like, yeah, it has something, so I continued it at home, and I watched quite a bunch of My Little Pony stuff. I have no idea about ponies, all I've seen is all I know. Here on this side is Eden. He is the character of my boyfriend, and that is what he drew. Like, it's also with like his very fun colored pencil that changes color, like it has multiple colors inside, and it's just like a sketch of Eden. Here are also the names of the artists of the stickers on the cover of my sketchbook, because like this I wouldn't forget them and struggle with finding them as well. Then we have some more doodles. This was just me trying to figure out an idea, like it's a political idea I had, but the execution is bad. I would execute it differently now, but it's like with all the things that happened in Germany and are still happening, like, it's just very frustrating, and also with the new elections and what was going on, it's just very frustrating. So like I had an idea and I wanted to execute it, but these are just like the doodles of me trying to figure it out. Then here more Hidekuni ponies, trying out some poses and anatomy and all. Then here I just have some different angles of hips and butts and such to see how it functions in different perspectives, because this is like very important for me in regards of anatomy, but also in regards of Lucide, because I just like to draw his butt for some reason. So this is me figuring things out, and I saw this online and I was like, oh, I want to put it into my sketchbook. Talking about Lucide, here you can see Lucide's legs, and here is Esther, the character of my boyfriend, who is like on the phone playing a rhythm game, and he's like just sitting between Lucide's thighs because he has some nice thighs. And then here on the side I have a silly Ezra cat, and then a pose that would be interesting for Ezra and Jasper. I also saw it somewhere, so I doodled it also down. And here is just a random guy. And I think I actually drew a lot of Ezra inside the sketchbook, because here is a whole portrait of Ezra, and I drew this with acrylic markers, some cheap acrylic markers that I wanted to test out and just play around with. And eyes. I don't know, I also like drawing eyes, but what artist doesn't like to draw eyes? Here I thumbnailed some cover ideas for a comic I started, on which note I still want to finish it. One day I will manage. But yeah, those are some different ideas I sketched down and I came up with, and at the end I chose this one, and I also executed it already. Like, this illustration, it's already done. In general, this sketchbook was great to just put any idea I had out onto paper without regretting it, because sometimes I'm like, oh, but it is good paper and I want to profit from that and use it correctly, but cheap paper is sometimes better for certain things, because like this, I didn't feel pressured to make it fancy, to make it look very good, and I allowed myself to fail as well. I drew Ezra here, so of course I had to also draw Jasper, and this is also drawn with acrylic markers. It's the same as I used on the page before, and I think at the time I just got them and I wanted to try them out overall to see what I can do with them. Jasper is having a moment, and I somehow like this very like colorful and very dynamic, and then you have him here with his mostly silhouette and then the eyes and him just also smoking. Like, it's a vibe, and I really like this one. Here on that side is my human version of Shadow Milk Cookie, which I love dearly. He's one of my favorite characters from Cookie Run Kingdom, and yeah, I tried to draw it in perspective, but I didn't get his face to look the way I wanted it to look like and how I would usually draw him, because before I mostly only drew him also digitally. So like, this was me trying to translate it into a sketchbook as well. That might sound weird, but sometimes switching between digital and traditional art impacts me, and I need some time to draw the same thing when switching those mediums. Like, I always have to figure things out then. More doodles, also again mostly with colored pencils, and here with a pen. Here we just have a Medusa design, because I had the idea of creating a Medusa character, but instead of having multiple little thin snakes, giving her big chunky boys as of snakes. And she looks cute. Like, it's not a character I own, it's just like a concept and an idea that I doodled down. Then we have here Anton. Yeah, no, how's it called in English? It's Psyduck, I think. In Germany, we call this Anton, and he didn't turn out the way I imagined it either, which is fine. He looks very creepy, that's why it's Psychoduck now. Just a silly ghost, me trying to draw a frog, because I obviously apparently suck at drawing frogs. This is me. I forgot to show you a page. How can that be? But yes, this pony just reminded me, because I was like, where is that page? It's here. Let's jump back. This was actually me trying to create a pony Zona, and I wanted to have a very chunky boy. I wanted him to be whimsical and magical and cozy also. So I created Ambrose. That's his name. He is a unicorn and he owns a library. I really like his design, and I also like that I managed the pony anatomy. Like, it took me a while, but once I had it, I really enjoyed drawing ponies, like doodling them at that time. And yeah, here you can also see his library, and he really likes apples, and he's always cold. That's why he has like this blanket over his back. He likes his jewelry. It would be interesting to once properly draw him also digitally, to then color him as well, and then maybe I could still put him onto Artfight, because today is the 25th of June and Artfight starts in 6 days. Maybe, if I get the time. Still have to edit some videos. But yeah, that's Ambrose, and the page I forgot. This is just Ambrose enjoying jumping into puddles and making everything wet, and I think he just likes rainy days a lot. I just hope he doesn't catch a cold. And then at the end here we have Per Vanilla Cookie, a cute little guy just sleeping. Here on this page I have some notes in regards of Jezra. Here is another portrait of Ambrose. And yeah, this is the third page where you see something Jezra related. Here is Nero. He lives in the same universe, he works at the same facility, and tentacles is a theme that goes on with him. This is me trying to figure out Nero's design, because in an earlier sketchbook, I think in the first sketchbook tour I had online here, you saw him there as well. That's when I created him. But I never got his adult, like his older version down, so this was me trying it. But I'm not as happy with this one, so later on in the sketchbook you will see him again. This also belongs to this kind of theme. This is just an idea which I won't elaborate further on, but just a little guy with tentacle stuff. And if you're around since some time and saw any of my other sketchbook tours, you know what this is. My boyfriend gave me a bunch of little letters, and there is like little cute messages inside, and whenever I feel like it, I open one, I read what's in. There's also stickers in, and then I glue them into my sketchbooks to not forget them or lose them. And then here are some ideas for some stickers with the IKEA shark, which I very lovingly call Blaja, and I was like, what if I would use that shark and put him into shark movie things like the Sharknado or like Jaws? So I had those ideas and I executed these already. They look like this, and I think they're just very funny. I also made a sticker sheet and a postcard with those. Yeah. Here is just a page of me using more of these acrylic markers and drawing eyes in different ways, and this spread was the moment where I realized I can just do anything I want inside my sketchbook, and if I feel like filling a full spread with eyes, I can just sit down and fill a full spread with eyes. And that felt very relieving, and it took so much pressure away, and I don't know, I needed that, because before that I was a bit eager on filling my sketchbook, but it also had to look very pretty and polished, and this really helped to loosen up a bit. So having this sketchbook in between was really nice. And here's just some swatches of some markers, like the markers I got, I think. Yes. Oh, here I fell down, so I just drew a lot of bunnies because I like to draw myself as a bunny, and I didn't have a good day there, so I was just doodling it down, and somehow I like this little guy like this. Yeah, just me. And since we're already at bunnies, I just doodled another bunny. I have no idea what this bunny was for though. And here is my bracelet from RedNetCon. And yeah, I just like to keep them and glue them down. And behind here you just have more bunny. That's the secret bunny, and he's angrily staring from the corner. I don't know why. Better beware. Oh yes, there we go. Let's start on the left side. Here we just have Lucide, like a portrait of him, and here we have Lucide. As I said, I like to draw his curves and draw him juicy and draw his butt and all. And there we just have Esther, who is very, very gay, looking up. I like their dynamic. I think they're so cute. Just silly doodles of him. And as I already said before as well, here we have Nero. This is his young version and this is his older version, and I really try to like make it look similar in a way that you would notice, oh, this is him growing up and keeping similarities, and his hair. He's also very silly because he owns a button machine, which I think I told you already in a previous sketchbook, and he just makes his own buttons and he wears them and he gives them out. Like whenever he's in the mood, he just makes a button for that mood and gives you more information. Like if he thinks you suck, he will just have a button that says you suck, or even he will make a button that says Ezra, you suck, which is a common occurrence. And there's more tentacle going on because, as I said, it's a theme with him as well. And there he is sitting on his couch with his boyfriend. Let's call it a boyfriend, that might be the easiest for now. And he is such a big movie nerd and he just keeps watching movies all day long, although he should work, but whenever he has the time, he just chills watching movies. And his boyfriend, of course, watches with him. And a bleeding heart. I have no idea why anymore. I just thought it looks pretty. More duels of Cookie Run Kingdom stuff. This was around the time when that mini event was up where you could decorate cakes. It's the second time it was up and I hated it because I play Cookie Run Kingdom nowadays on my computer because it's easier for me because I have easier access to my computer and I don't have my tablet around as often. And the minigame just sucked because this time there was a time limited occurrence and the computer is not the best way to play that game, so it took longer and that was very stressful and I didn't like that. I don't like that cookie as well. But here's my boy, here is Shadow Milk Cookie. More Shadow Milk Cookie who is like devouring that cake, and Pure Vanilla Cookie. Just the cute little guy he is. Here is me brainstorming for some button ideas. Like I had the idea of like no coffee, no talk. Here's Avocado Cookie from Cookie One Kingdom. And here was like, oh, let's exchange it with a cute little animal. And then I could have like a cat for the coffee, a raccoon for Monster or energy drinks overall, and maybe a red panda for Booba. But I don't know. It's nothing I would need right now, but it's a silly idea regardless. Then we have a planet, some plant. Down here I had the idea of creating cake lover buttons. So here you would have a button with a cake saying cake lover, and here you would have a button saying cake lover, but you would have a butt. Here is a doodle of Kinripped. Here again acrylic markers and some fine liner thingy pen brush. Oh no, it is dying. Yeah, it's cheaper paper. Like not necessarily cheaper, but it's like very basic paper, so it is much more fragile. I might have to try and fix this. I had this laying around and I just like to collect trash and put it into my sketchbook. So I put this in and he is called Nick. And here's then Baggy Nick. So I was like, oh, I just draw Nick and give him a very baggy and big and cozy hoodie, and I connect Hosier with him because of the voice and the raspiness and the kind of songs, like especially Too Sweet and Talk. Man, I was listening to Talk all day long around that time, like for days and days and days. But yeah, I drew Nick like this, and here's Kadarashi, who I ship with Nick, and yeah, he just totally wants to steal that hoodie. Here is more Kadarashi Nick because this is the kind of energy I connect with them. I love to see him also in suits, and he's like this very like more dominant put together part. He's the more playful part, and I just love their vibe. And here is just a random TV head with eyes. And yeah, the swan and the wolf, he's the wolf and he's the swan, and that's very much also their energy. Oh, baby! Well, baby and daddy, I guess. Silly doodles of licorice cookie from also Cookie Run Kingdom, but from the Bad 4. It's at least like in his Bad 4 skin because I love Bad 4. I also have a Bad 4 hoodie. And I don't know, Bad 4 is just such a good skin line and I love the energy. I also love Schwarzwälder, Red Velvet Cookie also, and then there's Mushroom. So all those four together are just very silly for me. And licorice is one of my favorite cookies. And then yeah, on the other side I have Swain because I like Swain and I'm very gay for Swain, and I don't know, he's just very hot. So some doodles of Swain's side profile. One of my favorite quotes, which is like try to die with dignity, and the way he just says it is just so perfect. We have very silly versus very serious. Here are some sketches of like not Teletubbies but Radio Tubbies, because I was like, how can I make it my own? Because I just like Teletubbies, and I was like, oh, I want to create something. So I came up with the Radio Tubby idea, and instead of like televisions, they have radio speakers on their belly, chest, belly. And then I was like figuring out colors and their little antennas. Then he says we should kill the TV star. It's a reference to killing the radio star, and just a tubby with very, very high boots. I want to dive back into the idea of creating kinky Teletubbies because I don't know, it just speaks to me. for some reason the Lego Batman movie came up, and I really liked that movie, and I love Joker from that movie. Um, so I watched the trailers and listened to the music like Black and Yellow. And then I had the urge to draw Joker. I just think he's very silly, also because back then I watched it in German, and the German voice of Joker is Gronk, which back then was the biggest German Let's Player. And I don't know, back then I liked him a lot. Like I watched a lot of his Minecraft stuff, so I was also emotionally attached to that. Nowadays I don't watch him anymore. I still like. I think I still like him though. Like he's a chill guy from what it seems. I really like the Joker. I think it's because YouTube suggested me a video why Joker is queer coded, and I watched like 2 different videos on it, and it was actually very interesting to watch those. And I can only agree that Joker is indeed queer coded, and why so it also made very sense. And yeah, I just enjoyed this. So here's a silly little Lego Joker doodle. This is a stamp of one of my friends. Her name is Aurelak, and she also does super cool things. In general, if you like Gachi, I hope I said it right now, and I hope I'm not confusing the name. But if you like that manga, she is so into that, and she loves it, and she has like her own OC, and she keeps drawing so much Gachi stuff. And yeah, if you like it and you want to see cool art, go check out Aurelak. And here on the top we have caramel arrow cookie and affogato cookie, because I love affogato cookie and I also somehow like caramel cookie. And just them interacting and him being a fucking idiot. Oh, this is a fun page. Here I was in my 2 Minecraft weeks where I was playing a lot of Minecraft, and I like Minecraft, I like cozy games, and I rarely play, which is an issue because I just keep working all the time, and that's not great. Or I will have the urge to play and game during periods of times where I really have to work but don't manage to work. Here is a creeper. It's a creeper I designed, like a humanoid creeper. I really like him. He's so pissed off. It could be a real creeper, and I like the colors also, again with acrylic markers. Here I have an idea for a logo design for Baldur's Gato, because I always say Baldur's Gato instead of Baldur's Gate. Then some cats, because we were in the cat theme. Then here I have my bracelet from RetroConza. It was also a spontaneous decision to go there because we got asked like 1 or 2 weeks before the event if we want to go there for one day. So we had a table there for one day, and it was the week before LuxCon, so this was totally not stressful. Here is some swirly smoke, because sometimes I just like drawing swirly smoke. I have here a wolf-like creature in a very pointy style, and then I tried to draw a bunny that would fit to him and also fill this negative space here. And then over here, my partner got into Magic the Gathering. A friend of us is in there since quite some time. We have multiple friends that play Magic the Gathering, so it was only a question of time before I would join them. And now I'm working on my first commander deck and such, so my partner would also get like cards and from time to time get boosters, although he likes to buy his cards directly, knowing which cards he wants. But I got this booster package like the leftovers here, and I love vampires and I love Zorin and I love vampires, and I just thought it would be really funny to like fill this booster package with this little doodle of Zorin. Of course, not dressed, because that's just who I am, and you can just pull him out of here just as if you would have gotten a card of him, although it's not in a card size. But I just wanted to fill that package with Zorin, and he got a nice package. Oh, this is silly as well. Let's start over here. This is just a pose I found on Pinterest, and then I doodled it down, and then I shaped it a bit like Lucide gave it the little tail. I added the eyes of Esther or Joffy, and then I had this train ticket, so I just glued it in, drew over it. I added the words After Dark because this is one of my favorite songs that I also connect with Lucide. On the other side, I glued down this. This is from a newspaper from Luxembourg, and we were at an event where we would have a button workshop, and a table. The event was Gamers Resort. It happened at the start of the year in February, 2 weeks after Anime for Carl, and we were there, and I also got interviewed, and I think my name is also somewhere, but I'm too lazy to find it now. And there's me. I'm actually on the picture. Here's our tables. We had here between those tables and our tables more tables for the button workshop. And it was so much fun. And I was like, oh, I'm in the newspaper. So I got this article from my mother and I glued it in so I wouldn't lose it. So that means I had this newspaper here. So if you close it, this would be the back of the newspaper. So what I did instead, I took an old book and I ripped out pages to then glue on the newspaper to reinforce the newspaper paper, because you know newspapers are very flimsy and I didn't want it to rip, and I just ended up drawing more Lucide because I was like, why not? He's already on the other page. So I just added him. And there's a macaron on the bottom because he loves sweets. And when we close it, because I wanted it to fit into the sketchbook, I just have here a stamp with a bug. How is its name? A centipede. Yes. Not me thinking of the human centipede who didn't find the name centipede. Did you know that Human Centipede is a song I also connect with Lucide? So maybe my subconscious decided on drawing a centipede to like have a reference to that song, and I just realized it now. I used the very fun pencil to try it out, and then I doodled down Garrett, who is my current D&D character. He is a blood hunter, he's a human. He likes to drink to forget about his sorrow and misery, and he is a goddamn idiot, and yeah, he looks like a clown and a jester and a fool. That's probably what he is, but not really, because he doesn't perform, nor is he a bard or anything alike. He just one night was drunk enough that people that were around him undressed him and put him in a clown's costume. And ever since, he's wearing that clown costume because there's nothing else he can wear. He's miserable. And if you want to see more of him, you can go check out my art fight, because he's currently on there. Also, like, Lucide is also on there. In general, by the time this video comes out, it is art fight. If you wanna go attack me, please, I would love that, and I would love to attack you back and just have a fun time over there. Here is a doodle of a bunny with horns, like antlers. A bit like a Wolpertinger or a jackalope. He is also another wolf, but it's a very long noodle. Here you also have some doodles of like a space bunny. It was a random idea that popped up in my head, so I doodled it down. I really like the style I chose here, like with the anatomy and such, and I would like to make a sticker sheet. Also later in this sketchbook I have more bunny doodles which I want to add to that sticker sheet. I just actually have to sit down and draw it. Then here on the top I have notes. And this is when I realized that when I have my sketchbook at a con, I can also just use it to take notes of things that I sold out, things that I need. Here's like everything I sold out at Japan Day Arlon. Here is what I sold out at LuxCon. Here is what I sold out at Samt Siegen. And this later on helped me to first of all have my sketchbook there and maybe also doodle at cons, which is amazing. I have to do it much more often. And on the other hand, I have all the information I need for after the con, and I know what I have to reorder. And due to this, I also notice it's cool to have a sketchbook that is not too big in size and also not too thick, because this is now dinner 5-ish, which is a great size to transport, especially like for cons, because if you go to a con, you have to bring so much already, and this just fits perfectly into my bag. And that's what I noticed throughout using this sketchbook. We are almost done with the sketchbook tour. That went fast. I had a very stressful time with many conventions why this sketchbook came in handy, and I know that I was at one con very gay for Ezra. It happens often. And I just drew him like this. I think this was at Matt's story, because also my boyfriend had his sketchbook with and he was doodling Ezra, so of course I was brain rotting about Ezra. And I just gave him big chunky leather boots, some shorts, and this apron. It had a bit like this butcher energy, and I wanted to give him that, and also like gloves, like black long leathery gloves. Yeah, I'm sold. I'm just gay, and also I gave him black hair because back then he apparently used to color his hair black, and I'm what shall I say? I just brainwashed about him, and then there he was. I gave him a cleaver, and here's a chibi Jasper, and both those things I just painted on some tape and glued it in. Here are some more bracelets. This was from Samtsiegen and this was from Metsuri. Yeah, this was from Metsuri. Ah no, this was from... It stands there. This was from Japan Day Arno. I'm so sorry. This is the convention thing I had for NonkyCon. This is the convention thing I had from Metsuri. All the things I sold out and needed to reorder. Here is another cute Ezra sketch. And because I started with magic, here I had the idea of maybe creating deck sleeves with my art on. Like, I think that would be a very silly, interesting idea. I just have to see with what I would want to have on there, and then also see where I would get it manufactured, because this is a bit tricky and not a common thing an artist would create. This is everything on this page, and just reflecting my gay once more. Not me forgetting another page in my sketchbook, so I very quickly recorded after I did the initial recording. But here is another full spread of Jezra. I love them so much. Just different doodles of Ezra and Jasper, different poses, snakes. Like, Ezra has a bunch of snakes, that's why I draw also many snakes whenever I draw them. Here we just have Jasper being miserable, Ezra being silly, how it usually is. Also here a pose where Jasper is tied down to the bed, being leashed, and these poses are somewhat comforting. But yeah, that's the spread I forgot now, and I still wanted to show it to you. So here I have an idea for a keychain with the bad 4 from Cookie Run Kingdom. Here is some more leftovers of a booster pack. And you can open this here actually. Let me see if I get it all in one frame. Let me see if I get it all on the picture. Well, let's just start on the left side and then I can move this around. But yeah, here is more... Oh, actually something I have to censor. But here is more Jezra stuff, and this was... I had a very clear vision about an illustration, and I actually executed it, and I'm so proud of it, and I managed it, and it turned out the way I had envisioned it. More Jezra of like this pose, but focusing much more on their faces and figuring out their expressions. Here are some Ezra shoes, because this is the kind of shoe I imagined Ezra to wear. Then to the actual spread of this sketchbook, because this is just glued in paper. Here are more bunnies, and also here I like the style. And yeah, it's time for me to create a sticker sheet with space bunnies. Here is a bunny ice cream of it melting, which is literally me because my room is so warm right now. Here on the top I have Kadarashi not being able to sleep after years of being left by Nicholas, and maybe I should just move on. But I love him sitting on the bed, not being able to actually do so. I don't know, he's trying so much, like he actually wants to get away from his emotions towards this man, but he doesn't manage, and he's just, oh my god, a heartbroken man, and I love him, and I just want the best for him. But yeah, this was it, and then over here I started watching Haikyuu again, and I'm currently at the second season, and back then I loved Haikyuu, but I never finished it, and I still like Haikyuu. I don't know, it's just so comforting for me. Back then I also cosplayed Asahi. He's my favorite character, he's a crybaby, and I also always wanted to cosplay him with real beard, because when I cosplayed him, hold on tight, I wasn't on testosterone yet. I had no beard. And the moment I got my testosterone, I never cosplayed again. Like, the only man I cosplayed afterwards was Aizawa from My Hero Academia, and that was about it. I never got back to Asahi, and I could actually cosplay him now with my real beard. And yeah, just me trying to draw Asahi. Also here Nishinoya as a little cute crow, a pose. Here is my Nonkey-Con bracelet, and yeah, I would like to have some form of haiku at my booth, at my table, but I have to see what exactly would fit. And then we have the last page here. This is just me drawing a furry, like a random wolf kind of character. I doodled this down at Matsutori as well, so it was a quick thing in between selling my art and just vibing there. Some more stickers. A sticker I drew, something from a package. A sticker I got, a LuxCon sticker, and a sticker of one of my children. Artist name is Sassy Dashi. I love their characters, go check them out as well. And the names of the stickers from the back. And this was my sketchbook tour, and I really love how this sketchbook came together, and it helped me to just decompress a bit, not have any high stakes, and draw whatever I want. But I already started with my next sketchbook. It has the same size. It has, I think, 1 page less. Not sure, but it's about the same amount of pages, but it has a different kind of paper. This little guy has mixed media paper again, and oh boy, I have the benefits of not feeling pressured of filling it up and making it look super fancy, because it's not so thick and it doesn't take as long to fill it, so that is very motivating and helps me to actually work on it. But it has fancy paper, so I can use any kind of medium in it. In this one I mostly only used pencils, colored pencils and acrylic markers, which is a bit limiting. And also the acrylic markers don't look as good on this paper, and also the paper doesn't take it that well. While on this one I can just do whatever I want with it. This one will look so good, and I can't wait to share it with you guys and make a video about it and show you how excited I am about it. I am also very impressed that I took like 4 months for this, because I started on the 28th of February this year and I finished it on the 4th of June. Very excited about that. I never finished a sketchbook this fast, I think, and I'm actually also happy that I can share it with you. I hope you enjoyed seeing my art progress, that you see how I filled this kind of sketchbook now, and that you also saw that it's sometimes interesting to change things up and change sketchbook brands and sketchbook types and sizes and the paper. Like, changing such things can also change how you tackle sketchbooks and how you work inside of them. But yeah, this was it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the sketchbook. If you have any questions or feedback, please let me know down in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. If you want, you can support me on my Ko-fi, or you can go check out my website. I am very active on Blue Sky and on Instagram. And since it's Art Fight month, if you want to attack me or you want to be attacked, be around. Go follow me on my Art Fight and let's have a chill time over there, because Art Fight is wonderful. And with that, I wish you a good day or night wherever you are. Bye!